Christmas gift. I want to do one thing before I get going here, so just give me a couple of seconds. I've noticed, well, I'll just do this. Not that it matters, because I can't hear myself, but I'm thinking that, oh yeah, definitely got to leave it like that. I'm thinking that this will be a much better mic quality. I can just talk normal. Because the last few episodes, because I always go back and watch my shows, I've noticed that the volume, like for instance, the show that I did yesterday with Mitch, your volume was fine. Mine was a bit lower because I was just using the microphone from the iPad, which is what I'm doing the show on right now, but I have this here. So I'm hoping that the mic quality, I just want to be a little bit louder. I just want to be understood. So Mitch, welcome to the broadcast. I'm going to talk about three things. And I'm going to try and stay within my 20-minute time limit, which I like to do. A little bit late because I couldn't figure out the screen wouldn't tilt for me, so I had to unlock it. That's why I was just a couple of minutes late. Okay, sounds good, Jane. Thank you. So wherever you are in this great country, welcome to MattTv. It's just after 9 o'clock on a Monday night. This is it. This is the last day of the month. I hope you had a great January. And are you participating in the dry February that is happening, well, beginning tomorrow? Are you perhaps having your last alcoholic beverage? And what a time. I mean, if there was ever a time to stop drinking, it would be right now. So, dry February, is that something that is on your to-do list? Fill me in. Volume is better. Thank you so much. Appreciate the feedback. Okay. Going to talk about the Olympics, which are just on the doorstep, 3 days away from the Olympics. We're going to talk about the upcoming Super Bowl, which is happening in Inglewood, California, 2 weeks' time, Super Bowl 56. So we're going to throw some numbers back and forth. I was really blown away by some of the stats that I read today. Not so much concerning the NFL, because that's a lot of numbers, you know, how much players make, how many people are going to be there, But, and the final thing I'm going to talk about is I'm going to talk about what's happening in this country right now. And this will only be my 2 cents. Will just be my 2 cents. And I promise you, as always, there won't be any vulgarity, no profanity. I have made a few points. I have my script here, and I've gone over it a few times. So I generally like to stick to what I've already written. Okay? I have my first draft, but it's also my second, my third, my fourth. Did I start off with my first draft? Okay, let's do this. Again, Olympics, and just Google. Let's start off. Let's start off by just Google the Olympics, and we'll just kind of compare back and forth just some of the numbers that I've learned. Again, 3 days away of the 2022 Winter Olympics. They're being held in Beijing, China. They hosted the games back in 2008. I believe they hosted the Summer Games, and here they are 12, 13 years later hosting the Winter Games. So in 3 days' time. So I'll just start up by asking you, do you care? Is watching as much or as little of the Olympics, is that something that is on your schedule for February? You won't be drinking, so you might as well be watching the Olympics. There is a 12-hour difference. So just check your local listings. The first event that you will be able to see is coming up on February 3rd, which I believe is Wednesday or Thursday. You'll be able to see Great Britain and Canada in curling. So that will be the first event that Canada will be participating in. So the Olympics are coming up. What did I learn today about Team Canada? Ton Campbell, how are you? What did I learn about the individuals, the athletes who have spent the last 4 years training for the next 2 to 3 weeks competing with other athletes from across the country and across the world? So here's what we know. Yes, curling is. I love curling too. I love the Winter Olympics. I love the Winter Olympics, and feel free at any time to put up some of your favorite Winter Olympic stories. I have a few, and it's hard to believe that it's already been 12 years. Already 12 years since the Winter Olympics in Vancouver and Whistler 2010, and that was remarkable. That was talk about Canadian unity. Let's talk about the Olympics. Yes, the games always bring people together. Before I forget, just want to let you know that it is a cool, clear night here in Halifax, Nova Scotia. It's currently about minus 14 with the wind chill. We're expecting another beautiful sunny winter day tomorrow. Looking at weather in the nation's capital, in Ottawa this evening, we're looking at clouds and minus 19. The weather for tomorrow, going to be cold in Ottawa, minus 22. So that's the weather here, and that is the weather there. James, welcome to the broadcast. What is the weather like in your neck of the woods? So I've made some notes, so pardon me, I have all my notes right here, but I'm just going to throw you some numbers. Let's just have some fun. We know there's all kinds of things happening in the world today, so let's just take a break from all that stuff, and let's just talk about the Olympics. Let's shine the light, as they say, on our Canadian athletes. We do know for sure that Canada is sending 215 athletes to Beijing. 215 athletes are going to represent Canada. They will be competing in 14 different sports, and this is one of the most diverse contingents of Canadian athletes we have sent. I believe there are 109 males and 106 females, and I should apologize. Those I should be using different pronouns, and I get that, and I apologize for not. I know they're not just males and females, and I apologize for that. But we do have 109, 106 individuals, a total of 215. So something very proud, yes. 117 of those individuals, 117 of those individuals are returning Olympians, and 45 of those individuals that are headed to the games right now have already medaled. So it's going to be an exciting games. There are Olympians there who, this is their fifth go. This is their fourth or fifth Olympic Games. And I know, I can't think of his name. He's a speed skater, Hamlin. If you can fill me in, I know his last name's Hamlin. He is looking to become the most decorated Olympian, Canadian Olympian, and he could do that. So there are athletes to watch, especially those that they're in the twilight of their Olympic career. So let's rally around our Canadian athletes and try and check out some of the events. You can get schedules. I know there are multiple carriers. The technology we have nowadays, you can catch most of the Olympics on TikTok or Twitter or Instagram. So it's everywhere. Let's just support our Canadian athletes, yes? I want to close up by just mentioning that all the provinces and one territory are represented in the games. There are four athletes from right here in Nova Scotia. The CBC is carrying the games February 2nd. Like I said, Great Britain will be playing Canada. That's an 8:55, and all these times are Atlantic. So February 2nd, if you want to see Canada in curling, they will be playing Great Britain at 8:55 on February 2nd. So feel free to share your most favorite Olympic story. Something maybe you saw an Olympic event on TV. Maybe you had the opportunity to be there. I was lucky enough to be out west and to be a volunteer for the 2010 Winter Olympics, and it was one of the most magical 2-week periods that I enjoyed while I was in British Columbia. Kevin Lockman, how are you, my friend? I'm just going to take a quick break. have a drink of coffee. Just quickly, my favorite day of the games was the last day of the games. It was Canada playing the United States. I was watching the game on a big screen across the street from the CBC in downtown Vancouver. I struck up it was just me. I was the only one that went in. I struck up a conversation with a husband and wife. They were there with 3 kids. They were from Vancouver Island, and I just ended up in the general vicinity. And as the game went on and on, we got into the third period. Well, I had already formed a bond with this complete stranger. I know I have a picture of him somewhere. I know that I talked about him. I know that I journaled him somewhere. I can picture him right now. But that, in a nutshell, was me just bonding with a complete stranger in the moment. Just a sea of Canadian jerseys. Sidney Crosby scoring the golden goal in overtime. And I remember embracing this other dude, this complete stranger, not so much at the end of the hockey game, but I just remember sobbing and crying with this individual. That was and then just on the corner of Georgia and Granville, I know I put video up on my Facebook page, just standing there with the video camera pointed at me and just doing circles, and it was just a wall, just a sea of people, everyone giving high fives and everyone high-fiving cops. It didn't matter. It was, I don't know how many times I sang "Oh Canada" during that 2-week period. So that being said, your favorite Olympic story. Danny, welcome to the broadcast. Okay, let's move on. Some more numbers here. We're going to talk quickly about the upcoming Super Bowl, Super Bowl 56. It's being played in Inglewood, California. It's the home of the Los Angeles Rams and the Los Angeles Chargers, I believe. The Chargers? It's home to 2 teams. Los Angeles Raiders, the Rams and the Raiders play under this new state-of-the-art facility. It's called SoFi Stadium. SoFi Stadium. We can expect up to 70,000 people at the next Super Bowl. 70,000 people in this state-of-the-art facility that will host later on down the road. And I didn't know this, and you can look at all this information by yourself. But this new facility, one of the events that it'll be hosting a few years down the road, it'll be hosting the opening and closing ceremonies of the 2028 Winter Olympics. See, I didn't even know that. I didn't know that California is hosting the opening and closing ceremonies for. Now, I don't know if it was specifically. It can't be. I'll have to double check. It says that they're hosting the 2028 Olympics. I should have done a little more research because I'm not quite sure myself if it's the Summer Olympics or the Winter Olympics, because it would make a lot more sense, obviously, if California was hosting the Summer Games. Yes. Okay, off the Olympics. Super Bowl, 70,000 people. Now, I do want to point out that according to the website that is talking about the Super Bowl, and the personal website of the stadium itself is saying that all 70,000 people will be checked for proof of vaccination. So that is, if you're going to the game, you might want to go a couple of days early. 70,000 people checking for proof of vaccination. About the teams, I'm not a Cincinnati fan. I'm not a Rams fan. Like I have said many, many times, I haven't seen one game all season. But I'm excited that Cincinnati will be playing Los Angeles. They've never met. They have never met in the Super Bowl. But the Rams are hosting the Super Bowl in their own stadium for the first time. They have met before. I think Cincinnati has an 8-6 series lead. So the 14 times that these teams have met, Cincinnati has won 8 of those. So it's really, really close. And the quarterbacks are super young. Really great story with the quarterback for Cincinnati, Joe Burrow. If he wins, now he has to win one more game, but if Cincinnati can pull off this win, Joe Burrow will be the first quarterback to win the Heisman Trophy, win a national championship, and the Super Bowl. So on that alone, I'm kind of cheering for Cincinnati. Plus, one of the guys I work with, Terry, who I see him every day, he works in the building where I do security. He is a lifetime Cincinnati Bengals fan. And I want to see Cincinnati win just for the sake of, I want to see Terry happy. I want to see Terry come in on that Super Bowl Monday. Just, the last time, I think he said the last time that the Bengals were in the Super Bowl, he was 8. He's now an adult man. So it's been a while. So kind of cheering for Cincinnati. But the other guy that I work with, he's a Rams fan. So the odds of two guys that I work with going for the teams that are in the Super Bowl, and just the back and forth that I get to, the trash talking that I get to listen to for the next couple of weeks will be certainly enjoyable. What's also going to be enjoyable, even if you don't want to see the football game itself, the halftime show is going to be unbelievable this year. I want to see the Super Bowl just for the halftime show. If you don't know this, and you can go online and check it out yourself and verify it if you must. But I can tell you that, dropping my prop here. Here's the lineup for the Super Bowl. We have Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Mary J. Blige, Kendrick Lamar, and Eminem will be the halftime show. Now, if you want to see that, you're going to have to get a ticket. And from what I understand, a ticket at resale, a ticket just one, for Super Bowl 56 from SoFi Stadium in Inglewood, California, between the Bengals and the Rams, just shy of $11,000, $10,427 US for one ticket. Okay. Numbers, if you're getting ready to bet on this, let me give you some numbers. This is Cincinnati's third appearance in the Super Bowl. They are 0 for 2. They're going to want to get a win, definitely. And this is, the Rams have made a few appearances in the Super Bowl, and they are 1 and 4. So not really good records for either team. Not good records for either team. Who wins? We don't know. No one's got a crystal ball. But what I can tell you, and I'll close with this, and this is just sticking with now just the football players themselves. The winners, every player on the winning team this year will receive 1,000. Sorry, 1,000. Every player on the winning team, Cincinnati, will receive $157,000. $157,000 for every player on the winning team. The losing team, every player will receive $82,000. $82,000. Okay, where are we here? 20 after 9, which is perfect. I'm going to close out, and I'm going to try and stick to the script as much as I can. And I just want to talk briefly going to talk about what's happening in Ottawa. So I've seen some things over the last few days from people that I know, people that I've known for many, many years, suggesting that we should just not focus on the negative. I'm sorry, but I cannot overlook symbolisms of hatred. I cannot do that. So that is a suggestion to me that I just cannot comply with. I cannot get past the negativity. And if it wasn't for people documenting it with their cell phones and the mainstream media or the fake news there to actually capture it, who would tell us about it? Because I see pictures and videos of people doing despicable acts, but people are too busy taking footage of it. I have yet to see, like the individual who was urinating on the tomb of the unknown soldier. Like, you don't whip out your phone and videotape it. You grab that individual and you straighten them out. I think people need to do a little research on the people who organized this freedom convoy. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about, I'm going to tell you about those individuals in just a couple of seconds. And I don't want to get off too much, but I've made some notes. But you need to know that the people who organized this freedom convoy want to overthrow the government. They want to overthrow the current government. That's their plan. I don't support that. That's why we have elections. That's why we just had an election. So whose fault is it that after 3 elections we still have a liberal minority government? I'm really tired of the term fake news. I find that is used more often when the complete obvious truth is staring you in the face and it's not something that you can accept, so it's got to be fake. It can't be real. That's just a term that is just so lame, and it was concocted by someone who was lame. Here's a question I put out on my Facebook post here a while ago. And I simply asked, if you don't trust the mainstream media to get your news, where are you? Those that do not trust CTV, ATV, Global, CNN, Fox, CBC, like, where are you getting your reliable, trustworthy, dependable, honest news? Please share. Because so far, the answers have been Elon Musk, who is a South African multi-billionaire who went from, yeah, truckers, you're heroes, to having a Twitter war with a 19-year-old. I'll get my news from somewhere else, thanks. And someone else just responded by, just use your own eyes. So, again, to all the haters of mainstream media, please inform me where you are getting your news. Please educate me. And even if, just 2 more things. I know this freedom convoy started off with truck drivers wanting to end the mandate for them having to be double vaxxed to go back and forth across the border. Well, almost at the same time, the U.S. imposed the same mandate. So even if at the strike of midnight, the Trudeau government dissolved the mandate for truckers, you still can't go to the United States. So that's a bit of a head scratcher to me. And here's something else that people should know. Facts about the organizers of this freedom convoy. Let's start with the organizer and the leader, James Bowder. James Bowder is an individual who still believes that the U.S. election was stolen. Okay, so there's one guy that's leading this freedom convoy. The second person who was in charge of the fundraising for GoFundMe, Tamara Lick, well, she used to be and could still be a member of the Canadian Western Separatist Party. But she wants to bring Canada together, so let that sink in. And the third individual, who's just a spokesperson for the truckers' convoy, Benjamin Dichter. Google that guy, because he is a bad apple. There's absolutely nothing good about that individual. And those are the individuals who started this whole thing. So I'm really thankful that there has been no violence. Pretty disappointed in some of the behavior, and even more disappointed that more people aren't calling it out and asking us just to take a blind eye to all the hate. I can't do that. So that's my rant, if you can call it that. So with that, we'll see how things unfold. Because there's much more pressing issues going on in the world. So you have yourself a great night. This is Matthew. This is MattTv. Now and always, from sea to sea.